welcome back to Book March Madness. My name is Lee and I will be your ref for this competition. I'm so excited. Selection Sunday is finally here. I know it's technically Saturday, but with my work and film schedule, my Saturday is a Sunday. I'm really excited because the full Book March Madness bracket is here and you can look at it, you can make your own predictions, you can fill out all of the specifics you want about who you think is going to win. I want to give a few reminders before I give you the nitty-gritty about what is paired with what. Just about how the titles were selected and seeded, and then at the end I will give you a few reminders about how the voting will work starting on March 16th. So the top half of these brackets are all the champion titles, so books that are selected from various lists that claim them to be or herald them to be as the best of the best in these particular four genres, and those books are ranked on total number of copies sold since their publication date. And then the bottom half of this bracket are all of the new releases, or the rookies, in this particular competition, and they are selected based on the top 4 books of the Goodread Awards for the past 2 years in these genres, and then they are ranked based on total number of votes. And I want to say something in case there's any confusion. If a 2020 book had lower votes than a book in 2019, the 2019 book will be ranked higher. I didn't go specific to year, it was just total number of votes in general. So all of them are placed on this list, ranked in those categories, and I'm really excited because up here in the 4-star spots are where the wildcard books will go, which are the participant suggested titles. Thank you so much for everybody who suggested a title in various places, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, the website, whichever. Those titles are based on how many votes or how many people suggested those particular titles. Funnily enough, I actually had several people suggest books that were already included in the bracket. That happened a little bit because I didn't reveal all of the books at once. I did one bracket at a time, but we picked the most popular suggestions, and they will be the wildcard titles that will go up against the lowest ranked book in their genre. We didn't have any more new release suggestions. They were all considered to be in the champion section. So all of the wildcard titles will go up against the lowest ranked champion title. They have a little bracket around them. To use a March Madness term, these 4 books are on the bubble, which basically means they're in position to be knocked out or to be overtaken by the amount of good votes that the other book potentially may have. So I think that's pretty much it. Okay, let's give you the rundown of what books are ranked where. Okay, everyone, here's my bracket. So I decided to make my personal bracket interactive, which you are more than welcome to do. Like I said in the beginning part of this video, I'm not a huge fan of just writing things on paper. I like to make it a little bit of a game. So I went through a couple days ago and literally just found images of all of the book covers and cut them out and taped them to my whiteboard so that if, for instance, if Tana French's In the Woods gets more votes than Hound of the Baskervilles, I literally can just tear off Hound of the Baskervilles and put it down here at the bottom. Excuse the mess of cords on the floor. And it'll be interactive and fun and engaging, and I can erase all the details with the whiteboard marker and rewrite them in. So I thought that was fun. You're more than welcome to do this. This took me maybe an hour or so to put together, which I know is a lot of time to invest in something, but like I said, I'm so excited about this that I wanted to go ahead and just make it as fun as possible, because I've been working on it for a long time. Let's start with the classics bracket. So we have the top title up against the lowest title, which is how regular March Madness works, and it goes on from there. So we have Tale of Two Cities up against Treasure Island. Unless Treasure Island gets deseeded by whichever wild card goes here, it's on the bubble, which is why there's a little bracket around it. So Tale of Two Cities against Treasure Island, Catcher in the Rye against In Cold Blood, Lolita against Animal Farm, Great Gatsby against Fahrenheit 451, and then the 1 through 8 process starts over with the new releases, and we have The Book Thief against Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, The Help against The Underground Railroad, Where the Crawdads Sing by the Remains of the Day, A Man Called Uva by Wolf Hall. Then for a mystery thriller bracket, the same rules apply in terms of ranking, and if this is de-seeded by the wild card, this will obviously change. But we have, and then there were none, the Moonstone, Girl on the Train against The Postman Always Rings Twice, Hound of the Baskervilles against In the Woods, Rebecca against Shutter Island. Then for the new releases, we have The Guest List against The Lost Man, The Silent Patient against The Turn of the Key. I'm really curious about this one. I think this will cause a lot of controversy. Then we have My Sister the Serial Killer against When No One Is Watching, and then we have Home Before Dark against The Sundown Motel. And then with the romance bracket, just like the other two, The Princess Bride is on the bubble. It could be de-seeded by whatever goes here, but we have The Notebook against The Princess Bride, Gone with the Wind against Sense and Sensibility, Whitney My Love against Jane Eyre, Outlander against Pride and Prejudice. Again, this one I am real curious about. And then for the new releases, we have Red, White, and Royal Blue against Things You Save in a Fire, From Blood and Ash against The Unhoneymooners, Beach Read against Regretting You, and In 5 Years against Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And then for fantasy sci-fi, as much as I hate it, Lewis is on the bubble, and will be going up against the wild card spot that will go up there. Excuse the grossness of this whiteboard. It is well loved. But we do have Lewis going up against a Tolkien, which is kind of what I wanted to happen, like real big titles that are in direct competition with one another. Speaking of Lewis, we have Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe up against a Vonnegut favorite, Cat's Cradle, 1984 against The Lies of Locke Lamora, The Eye of the World against Dune, and then for the new releases, she is one to watch, I think. The Crescent City going up against Harrow the Ninth, Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, well, I can talk. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue against The Starless Sea, Ninth House against Dark Age, and To Sleep in a Sea of Stars going up against Recursion. So like I said, every few days I will update my bracket. I hope you all do too. I'm really excited. This right now is just so aesthetically pleasing, and I can't wait to add the little wildcard titles at the top. So let's go do that now. I'm really excited. I have to catch my breath because I don't know if anybody else will get a big kick out of doing this, but this has been something that I've been wanting to do for such a long time, and so it's really exciting for me to be able to manifest this dream into reality. I'm really excited. So, without further ado, let's introduce the classic wildcard title. I have it right. Ooh. Oh no, I dropped it. I have it right here on my little tape. I'm excited. The classic title that you guys suggested and got the most votes is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and it will be going up against Treasure Island on March 16th during our first 4 competition. I'm a little bit excited. I keep saying that, but I really am. It was a book that wasn't really even on my radar. Of course, it was on the lists, but for whatever reason, I skimmed over it when I was picking. There were a lot of other really great suggestions. There was some Mark Twain thrown around. Of Mice and Men was a big one. There was also a lot of Jane Austen thrown out, and I felt really bad about not picking those, but they were already, 2 of them were already included in our romance bracket. And I was like, I know a lot of people love Jane Austen. My friend Shelby, I see you. She's your favorite. But she was already included, so I felt like I had to pick something that wasn't already a part of the bracket. Otherwise, it'd give it a little bit of an unfair advantage. So I decided to go with Little Women. We love the female support, and also the movie was so good. I love both movies. Saoirse Ronan is incredible. Timothée Chalamet. Okay, so I'm really excited for the classics one. I mentioned in the classics introduction bracket that that's the one that I'm probably going to be paying the closest attention to because I have read the most amount of titles in this particular bracket. But let's meet the title that will be the wild card for the mystery thriller bracket. And the title that won the most amount of votes for the mystery thriller bracket is Presumed Innocent by Scott Turow. I, like most of the books in this particular bracket, have not read it. But it will be going up against The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins, another one I have not read. We'll talk a little bit more about the voting procedure for books you haven't read in the first 4 introduction video, which is coming out on March 16th. But again, 2 titles I know very little about, but I'm still excited to see whether The Moonstone will get bumped. And now on to the romance bracket. We needed a tragedy. You know, I almost contemplated putting Romeo and Juliet up there. Someone suggested that one. But I didn't really want to do plays because I wanted to stick to the actual novel like parameter of this competition. And so the title that was selected for the romance genre for the wildcard spot is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I have read this book, one of the very few in this genre that I have read. I love the movie. I think Keira Knightley is exceptional. She does so good. It is going up against one of my favorites, which is The Princess Bride by William Goldman. This one's gonna be tough. In my mind, I think, or in the back of my mind, I think I probably know that I will pick Princess Bride because it's so iconic and it made up so much of my childhood. But Anna Karenina is so good. I think I reviewed it for my Good Books with Bad Reviews, the Classics edition. There were a lot of people who didn't, so I don't know. I think that one's gonna be a tough one for people who love the traditional tragedy versus the amazing story that is The Princess Bride. And finally, the wildcard spot for our fantasy sci-fi bracket will be filled by the king of fantasy himself, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. The amount of people who voted for this book. It was a lot. But there were a whole bunch of really awesome suggestions for the fantasy sci-fi. We had like the original Star Wars books by George Lucas. We had some Terry Pratchett in there. We had His Dark Materials, which is an exceptional Amazon show. There were just so many good suggestions in here, but I felt a little bit remiss if I didn't include Brandon Sanderson because there are a few titles in these brackets that they're technically what you would consider old classics, but have made a big resurgence in popularity, particularly where's she at? Where'd she go? There she is. Particularly Rebecca. For whatever reason, there's been a real uptick in people who are interested in reading that story, and I thought Way of Kings kind of fit the bill in terms of being an older champion. It's not really that old, because Rhythm of War was just released in the past year or two, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. So he's very prevalent right now. And also, the man has like 50 different series. Kind of like, where's she at? Sarah J. Maas. Where'd she go? Kind of like Sarah J. Maas. I mean, he's in the same category as her, but they fit the bill of, they just have so many, and they're such a huge juggernaut in that particular genre that I felt like I had to pick him. And I've had so many people tell me to read Brandon Sanderson, so I'm excited to see how he does. Unfortunately, he is going up against Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis. That's gonna be tough. I think I probably will vote for C.S. Lewis just because I love C.S. Lewis, even though I've read neither. So again, I'm picking based on favoritism. So that is it. That is the official Book March Madness bracket. And I want to say something else. With the exception of me choosing which books belong in the wild card category, my input in this competition stops here. From here on out, everything that happens in this competition is up to you. I will vote in my heart and in my mind, but I will not actually cast a vote. So everything that happens in this competition, which titles stay, which ones go, is directly up to you all. So tune in on March 16th at 10 a.m. when the first 4 video will premiere and the voting begins in earnest, where our 4 wildcard titles, which again are Little Women, Presumed Innocent, Anna Karenina, and The Way of Kings, will go up against Treasure Island, The Moonstone, Princess Bride, and Out of the Silent Planet. You guys get to vote on which is the final decision to cement the Book March Madness bracket. And then the first round of voting begins on March 18th. I'm so excited. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I can't wait to see what happens with this competition. Like I said, this has been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. So I'm really grateful for those who have already participated. So if you enjoyed this video and are ready for March Madness to begin, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to this BookTube channel. It really does help me out and let me know what you guys want to see. And like I said, a huge thank you to the friends and family who have readily supported me along this journey. It truly means the world to me, and I can't wait to see what's on the next page. So until March 16th, when we begin to vote, we'll see you later.